So let's go ahead and review some footage with this Sony. Unfortunately, one thing about this, it is not touchscreen friendly, so you can't go ahead and just move things with your hand. You have to manually do a lot of this stuff yourself. So let's go ahead and see what kind of pictures this Sony actually has, and should you actually go ahead and get this for yourself. One thing to keep in mind, the battery life here eats it very fast, so do get a second pair of battery in case you do get one of those. Also, the low light photography in here is not so great, so keep this also in mind. Now here's a picture of something, and it looks kind of interesting, doesn't it? If you want to zoom in, you can't use your hand here, unlike a Sony that has a touch screen. You have to use just the thing all the way over here at the top, and you can zoom in and you can see all the details. Now you can use the touch screen once you zoom in right here, which is just weird in my opinion. Now you can see one of the images, but we're going to go through a lot of them, so you can tell if this camera is really right for you. So here's one. Let's go to another one. This is going to be the green one, and it is more zoomed in here as well. Now we have an Empire State Building here too, with a glow of something. Let's take a look. Zooming all the way in, you can't hardly see this. You can probably tell, I don't know if you can tell this or not, but the low light performance of this camera is not the greatest. I have had a lot of trouble for it in focusing in something that is super dark, such as this. His face right here. You can hardly see it. Oh, you can see some of it, but you can't see much of the details, or can you? Here's his face. Zooming more in, you can see how pixelated the whole entire thing is the more you zoom inside, especially when it comes to low lights. So that's one thing that this camera does not do actually too well. It doesn't perform well in low light photography. Here's another one with the green glow right in the back, and a purple glow as well. Let's continue. Here's a vehicle. Can we see the license plate? You're spying right in. We can't see the passenger, and I can't see nobody inside. Let's move in. We can see the lights, and I can't really tell the license plate in here, but it would have been good if you could. It's pretty hard for you to read this, but it actually shows you the capacity. If somebody is actually right in your yard and you want to get the license plate, it didn't actually do a fine job in that. Unable to display this one. Okay. Next one, we have a squirrel right here. I did a super zoom, and we see some animal here. Not sure what it's doing. So let's zoom out. You have to zoom out first before you are able to move to the next picture. Here he is again. That was not a squirrel. What was it? And this is again a low light picture here. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? That's one of the problems with this camera, is that using your hands not very well. Oh, there it is. It was a chipmunk. Low light photography doesn't do a good job. Not really. You can see it a little more clearly right here. It's also not very clear, as you can see right there, in the sun, in case you have a very high glow of something. You can see how it looks like right here. Not very easy for you to read the entire screen. Go for the next picture. Here is another one, chipmunk. Here's one in better kind of light. You can see it right here. Here it is. From far away. Here it's moving. And here is something outside. I think it's zoomed in. Zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, now we zoomed out. You can see how it looks like. Different images, and I keep on like attempting to move it with my hand, but I can't. It doesn't let you. Here's a pine tree. Here's the road, and this one is a very good image for you, because you can tell how much zoom it can actually do. Now we're going to be zooming in. No, not like this. We are going to actually zoom in taking a picture. Let's go back in here. And here it is. This is zooming in all the way. And this is 200 zoom. So before that, we didn't zoom in. But now we're going to be zooming in manually. Right here. You can see the truck right there. So you can tell how it looks like. And in a good light, it's actually not doing such a bad job. And it's not really pixelated when it comes to that. So it's actually bad light that has the biggest trouble in performing in. Now we're going to be zooming all the way out. So you can see the difference between all the way 24mm and 200mm. I wish it was even closer because I still can't see the truck over here. Next one is just a bush, some leaves, a pine tree, another pine tree, some plant. Now we have some macro photography right here, some plant right there. And you can get very close to a plant, as you can see right here. You can get like super close to one and take pictures of it, and it looks pretty decent too. So that's one thing I do like about this camera. You can really zoom in into something. You can put it like this, very close to it, and it will take a pretty good image of it. So I'm really impressed by that. Here's another very good picture here, by the way, with some things right on this. I don't know what they are, but it's a pretty cool picture. Here's another one, and another one as well.